What's going on, everyone? It is time for Post to Post, and on the program, we take a look at the UEFA Nations League semifinal between Cristiano Ronaldo and Switzerland. Atlético Madrid might be looking for a new goalkeeper again. And Brazil's number 10, well, he should have his own telenovela with all the drama in his life. We will talk about that and so much more on Post to Post starting now. Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Eric, do the dance. Eric, do the dance.
Do the dance, Eric. Do the dance. Yes, yes. His dancing does not represent beIN Sports USA
Delete
and
that.
the rhythm that we have in the network. What's going on, everyone? It's time for Post to Post. George DiMatteo is filling in for Jeremy St. Louis. And, of course, I'm joined by Eric Krakauer, the dancing Portuguese man over here to my left. All right.
Dancing for good reason.
For very good reason. All right. We got a lot to talk about on the program. All right. Let's start with that big game in Portugal, in Porto, the UEFA Nations League semifinal. Cristiano 3, Switzerland 1. CR7, he does it again. What are your thoughts about that?
I know. Look, I tweeted this earlier, and I'll start with this so I can spark up the controversy nice and early. I don't care whether anyone debates whether Cristiano Ronaldo is the best or the second best player in the world. What is inarguable is that he is number one when it comes to being clutch.
Especially for his country.
He's Mr. Clutch. Actually, your tweet was the best. What did you say?
I said, what did I put on the tweet? I said they should change it from being clutch to being Cristiano. For example, like he gets big buckets in the Cristiano. That's what I said.
I mean, that's brilliant.
My tweet.
That's brilliant. But, you know, look, as much as you can extol the virtues of Cristiano Ronaldo's performance, the goals, because he actually didn't play that well, take away the goals, which is a crazy thing to say when essentially his entire role is to score goals.
Right.
But it was a pretty poor performance by Portugal. Switzerland were the better team, but that's all camouflaged by the fact that this man is judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to playing soccer. He's just unbelievable.
All right.
And by the way, turning back the clock with that free kick, we haven't seen him score one of those in a very long time.
Absolutely. That's for sure. Cristiano Ronaldo does it again. All right. Remember, we want to hear from you. So send us your comments here on Facebook, and we will get to them. Nick Hardison, CR7 is the GOAT. What is it? Andreas Hanna, hope I'm saying that right. He says another trophy for the GOAT. I'm assuming you mean the greatest of all time in Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So, all right, Eric, let's talk a little bit more. You said that they didn't play so well. What was it about the game that, as someone who's following Portugal, was a little disappointing?
Look, there's been a running criticism of Fernando Santos,
How you say the last name again? Say that?
Santos.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, cool.
Santos. Fernando Santos. There's been a running criticism for a long time, even during the Euro in 2016 when Portugal lifted that trophy, that he is too conservative a head coach. That when it comes to the offensive play, Portugal is very reliant on the individual abilities of the players and not necessarily on a system. And I think that was on full display today. You saw the quality of players, especially Cristiano Ronaldo, when it counted the most, come to the top, right?
Right.
But in terms of systems, you saw that this is a team that doesn't have routines. This is a team that doesn't have distinctive passing patterns, and that's going to be a problem against England or Holland. And that is why whoever wins in that semifinal is favorite, in my view, going into the final against Portugal.
Even on home soil.
Even on home soil, even though they're playing in Porto. And I should say this as well. It was the debut of João Felix, the young starlet from Benfica, who scored 20 goals in all competitions. He's 19 years old. A lot of people are saying that he may end up at Atletico Madrid next season as the de facto Griezmann replacement. He was poor, but I don't think it's through any fault of his own. The kind of game that was being played by Portugal was not the kind of game where he excels. A lot of crosses into the box, and that's not where he's going to give you his best.
All right, let's hear some comments here. Jean-Kiel says, if CR7 finds a way to win the next World Cup, would any of the CR7 haters finally agree that he's the absolute best? Okay, interesting thought there. Tevin Berry, watching from Jamaica. Big up, brethren. What's up, man? Who else? Andre Piclet Timmons. Andres always coming through. Switzerland played better, but like you say, they were CR7'd. That's for sure. All right. Let's see what else we have here because a lot of comments coming in here. John Ala Madrid. Don't know why people compare the GOAT to Messi at all. We were trying to avoid the M word, and I just read the message anyway. I read the comment anyway. Hector Hernandez. Let's say that Haaland goes to the final and win. Would that make Van Dijk a better contender for the Ballon d'Or?
Actually, that's a really good question.
That's a great question, Hector. Thank you.
I mean, there are people right now who believe that Van Dijk, and when I say people, I'm not only talking about any average viewer, not that anybody's not an average viewer, we all are. But I'm talking about people who, journalists who cover the game day in and day out, who are saying, look, Messi had a phenomenal season. For me, I would give Messi the Ballon d'Or this year. Okay, no questions asked.
It's kind of by default because no one really stood out that much.
Well, Van Dijk did.
Well, Van Dijk, okay.
Look, nobody beat him on a one-on-one. Nobody was able to take him on successfully.
Right.
Son was very close to it in the Champions League final, but he recovered and poked the ball away from him. He has been a part and a crucial part of this European champion, Liverpool, Champions League champion.
Some say he might have been the best player for Liverpool throughout the season.
Yeah, I think you can absolutely make that argument. And when it comes down to the Ballon d'Or, even though we know that it's a mean nothing trophy, except for the people who win it and individual players who want the glory that comes with it.
Right.
He's winning competitions. He didn't win the Premier League, but pushed Manchester City all the way.
Only 1 point.
He gets the Champions League, and he has a very good chance of lifting this brand new trophy. I think the case has to be made, especially after Barcelona were bounced from the Champions League through no fault of Messi, who was a difference maker, as we all know.
All right, let's get some more comments here. I like what Arturo Velasquez says. He says, CR7 is the Brady of soccer. All them rings, I guess, or late clutch performances. All right, 34-year-old still killing it, CR7. As we continue here with the comments, what an amazing performance in a friendly tournament. Eddie Salmeron, maybe sal for salt, a little salty there, Eddie. I don't know, man. Rafa Castorena, just because Switzerland played a better game than Portugal, they still lost. CR7 factor was the difference.
What about this one by Maria Britos?
Yes. This Messi-Ronaldo conversation is never going to end.
It isn't. It isn't.
Ever.
And you know what? It's a silly conversation.
Yeah.
Okay? I just said what I said just to add a little bit of pepper to the conversation.
A little sal.
But I think it's ridiculous to compare both these players.
Doing the little...
There you go.
Throw some salt
But
in
I hope
there.
it never ends. I mean, these are the two greatest probably of all time.
Well,
Come at me, Pele
I hope
fans.
it ends soon so that we can start talking about some other great players that might come up. But we'll see. You know, they still have, 4 or 5 years left to be fantastic. All right. Mario Perez. Leadership is what sets Ronaldo apart from the skulking. I didn't want to say Messi, but from the skulking Messi. Hashtag true facts. This isn't, I think we're talking about this comparison. Let's not compare Messi. Let's just bask in the glory of Ronaldo right now, what he did for Portugal.
I was going to say the first part of that statement, I agree completely. There's a leadership quality in Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm not talking about like just banding the troops together. I'm talking about when it comes to decisive moments, he takes it upon himself. Now, there's been a danger that Portugal has deferred a lot of the play to Cristiano Ronaldo in the past. You
can see why, because
of course they needed to do it today. But we saw in the Nations League early in the group stage that Portugal has a future without him. But it is undeniable that they're a different team with him. You put Cristiano Ronaldo in Switzerland today, and Switzerland wins that game handily. Seferovic had a very good game, clips one ball off of the crossbar. The penalty call was
I was going to ask you about that. What about that? What do y'all think about the penalty call there?
I mean, look, there's a little bit of a touch from Semedo on the player's foot. I don't remember exactly who it was, and you can argue that that's enough to bring him down.
All right, one more comment here. John Peter George says if Mane wins the Africa Cup of Nations, which is right here on beIN Sports starting this summer, he has a case too. All right, interesting point there. All right,
don't deny that.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's get into some news because we got some stuff that's juicy. Daily news right here on Post to Post. All right, we begin with Jan Oblak, the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, dropping bizoms on the Spanish capital. There's talk that Jan Oblak might be out, the Zamora Trophy winner, heading to Paris Saint-Germain. Now remember, PSG just let go of Buffon earlier today. They just released him, so they do need a goalkeeper. Jan Oblak to PSG. What do you think?
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen?
It's not going to happen. Although it would be great for PSG. They'd be getting arguably the best goalkeeper in the world. But if you really look at what Oblak said, he didn't intimate that he's going to leave. He basically said, I'm ambitious, and as long as Atletico Madrid matches my ambition, we're all good. And what he means by that is he's 26 years old. He just renewed his contract. He wants to be on a winning team. He wants trophies. In order for Atletico Madrid to win trophies, they need to delve into the transfer market. It's that simple. If they don't do it, if they don't buy big names or difference makers, then maybe you can worry about his departure. But I think that Atletico Madrid are well on their way to a squad revolution this summer. They have to.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of players are leaving. Griezmann, Lucas Hernandez among
Godin.
Yeah.
So there's
it would be a devastating blow if they lost Godin.
And they're going to need
Oblak though.
Absolutely, and they're going to need to be players that are going to make a difference immediately. You look at somebody like Thomas Lemar, who is incredibly talented, scored a wonderful goal for France this week, a lovely lob, but he hasn't quite cut it for Simeone Atletico Madrid. Now you can make the argument that Simeone's game isn't conducive to getting the best out of somebody like Thomas Lemar, right? But you have to play for the coach and the type of football that you have at your disposal. But there's a lot of work to do there. So Oblak stays. If he goes, my God, that's a disaster.
Well, let's see. The buyout clause, the release clause is 120 million euros, 135 million US. So we'll see what happens there. We get some quick comments in. Didn't he just sign a new contract? Yes, extended till 2023. Oblak to United, Clayton Brown, Navas to PSG. So we'll see what happens there. That's very interesting. All right, Brazil. They will be here on beIN Sports taking on Qatar at 8:20 p.m. Eastern, 5:20 p.m. Pacific. Brazil versus Qatar, obviously a tune-up before the Copa America. There's all kinds of issues with Neymar. We'll get into that right now. Neymar, is he in his right state of mind to play this tournament? Eric Krakauer, because we all know the allegations surrounding him right now, and then the Instagram posts, which were crazy. Is he in his right state of mind?
You know, nobody can answer that question except for Neymar.
Yeah.
Right? Or the people who are closest to him.
I know someone who has a thought about it.
And who's that?
The vice president of the Brazilian Football Association.
Do share.
Confederação Brasil do Futebol.
What did he say, George? What did he say?
What did he say? He said it in Portuguese, but we have people that can translate. So this is what he says. If Neymar plays, Brazil are capable of missing out. If I had to bet, I'd bet that he won't play in Copa America. He's not in the psychological condition to play in the Copa America and to face journalists. Let us know what you think. Hit us up with the comments about that. Go ahead, please.
Mention something about that. Francisco Novoleto, the vice president of the Brazilian Federation, is in hot water. Right? Because if you think that, you shouldn't make it public.
Right.
You're the vice president. If the president says that, maybe that's something. But the president has actually come out and said the complete opposite. Right? That they need Neymar to do well. I agree. Neymar is absolutely essential to that Brazilian national team. I think some of the burden of expectation is taken off his shoulder because he no longer has the captain's armband.
Right. He still has the number 10 on his back, which might be just as much pressure.
He still does. But he delivered in the Olympics. I know the Olympics are not necessarily a major soccer tournament, but that was because they were playing in Brazil.
And they were chasing that gold medal for a long time.
For a very long time. Look, he's embroiled in a very serious situation. Whether this impacts him psychologically once he crosses that line and is in the field of play, nobody knows. For a lot of people, actually playing the game is an escape for whatever other realities you're dealing with.
Absolutely. Let's get to some comments here. Arturo Ruiz, he says, Neymar seems to be stressed out to perform on the pitch. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but Eric, you just made a good point. That could be his refuge, is the pitch, and to give him some kind of clarity and peace of mind.
Look at this.
Rafa Castorena, he's been chiming in a lot. Big up, Rafa. He says it'll be 10-0 in favor of Brazil.
Rafa, did you not see that Qatar are the Asian
champions? Yeah.
They beat Japan. Japan, by the way, who also are playing in the Copa America.
Willie Ortiz says, Neymar never gained anything in farsa. He calls it farsa. Okay. Only learned bad habits from Messi and company. That is why this kid is soft like ice cream. Pecho frio like Messi. Ooh.
Wow.
Willie, man.
That's a lot of fire.
Wait a minute, Willie. Willie, first of all, didn't they won a trouble. He won a trouble at Barcelona.
Yeah.
And he won a Libertadores with Santos. Now, a lot of people, if you follow his career from when he was younger, they thought he was spoiled from when he was a kid, but he was still winning big tournaments and performing well in big games. Maybe not for Brazil, but for the club.
Look, he's always going to divide opinion, Neymar, right? You can say what you believe is his character outside of off the pitch, but when he's playing, he's unbelievable to watch. He's a difference maker. He's a top 5 player in the world, even though the Ballon d'Or of last season doesn't agree, placing him in 12th. He needs to play. He needs to play. And he's not a pitcher for you.
Maria Britos again saying, Neymar should just take the summer off.
Oh, well, she also said,
I need to take the summer off.
She also said,
I think we
take
all
some
do.
time to reflect. Maria,
to reflect.
Maria, the producer of the show, is doing a lot of commenting on Facebook.
For real. I like reflect.
Yeah.
She majored in psychology in college. That's what it was. Yeah. Let's get some more comments real quick before we move on here. Jacamel Calderon. Pressure pushing down on me, quote Neymar. Did he just quote Queen? Is that Queen?
Yeah.
That's Queen, right? Under pressure.
Gambir.
That is Queen?
Yeah.
By the way, that Freddie Mercury movie, what's it called? The Bohemian Rhapsody
I don't know, I haven't seen it yet.
It's really good.
You see every. I don't know, do you have time to do anything else? You watch everything.
I'm single. I got plenty of time.
All right. Neymar needs to go back to Messi's shadow. He will grow better, says Gambir. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. That's intense.
Rana. Yeah, but you know what? A plant can't grow without sunlight. So there you go. I don't know what that means, but I'm trying to move on.
Moving on.
Yes,
Yeah, moving on.
Let's move on. All right. Controversy with the Confederation of African Football, the Champions League final. Now, the second leg was postponed or actually suspended in the 60th minute after a goal was disallowed for offside. We're talking about the African Champions League final between Esperance de Tunis and Wydad Casablanca of Morocco. That match in the second leg there was a VAR. The VAR wasn't working after a goal was disallowed. They wanted to go to VAR. The Wydad Casablanca players wanted it to go to VAR. The machine wasn't working. They were so upset that they stormed off the pitch. They protested, and the match was suspended. They gave the trophy to Esperance de Tunis because it was a 2-1 aggregate after the goal was disallowed. Now, after about 5 days and protests and a bunch of people being upset, the CAF has decided to replay that second leg after the Africa Cup of Nations, and not in Tunisia. That second leg was in Tunisia.
Neutral venue.
Neutral venue after the Africa Cup of Nations. Chaos in the African Champions League final. Eric, what are your thoughts about that?
First of all, I'm glad that CAF decided to do this.
You think so? You think it was a good idea for them to do this?
Yes. Whether it was a neutral venue or not, that's up for debate.
Right.
Because there wasn't any violence. There was just players refusing to play, and I think for good reason. Number one, if your VAR system doesn't work in a final, postpone the game, or at least delay the game to make sure that you can fix it. Right. For all intents and purposes, that goal was a clean goal. So there was reason for these players to be or to feel aggrieved. They went to the referee. The referee refused to look at VAR at first, and the reason was because VAR was broken.
Working.
So he was trying to save face. And this is a real punch in the face of CAF, who are kind of doing the right thing now and remedying the situation with this replay, which is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, let's take some of your comments here. The first leg in Morocco ended 1-1. The second leg, Tunis Esperance had to lead 1-0. Then Morocco, Wydad Casablanca scored the equalizer. It was nullified because of offside. VAR wasn't working. The players didn't know that. That was another issue that I think the club of Wydad Casablanca were upset about. So we want to hear what you have to say about that. I hope I clarified that a little bit.
And by the way, a lot of credit to those Wydad players for saying, no, we're not going to play anymore, because they knew they were going to lose the trophy. And it was not a sure bet that they were going to get this decision in their favor.
Right. Well, but there was 30 minutes left in that game. It happened around the 60th minute. And if you could score one, you can score two. Don't you think they should have played the game again and then get an equalizer again?
Listen, I think if you feel that you are the victim of an injustice, then you act accordingly. They did so.
Okay. Well, we are going to find out, because that's some serious drama here. And just two quick comments. Rafa Castorena, CAF, and then the emoji of him slapping the face like that. I think I did slap my face just now. All right, Willie Ortiz, CAF, tripping, man. Like that, tripping, man. Like what's it called? Homeboy from Scarface. I forgot Tony Montana. And last one, Rafa, they better need Wi-Fi for VAR for the CAF Champions League final. All right.
I think Rafa is
Rafa's on fire.
Posting more messages than Maria Britos.
Oh, there you go, right there. All right, we'd like to remind you that tonight on beIN Sports, you can see that Brazil-Qatar 10-0. Somebody predicted that Brazil and Qatar would win that game. So, Eric, bold prediction very quickly. Who's going to win that game between Brazil and Qatar?
2-1 Brazil.
Just 2-1?
2-1.
Okay, I say 3-0 Brazil. They're going to take down Qatar. That match right here on beIN Sports, 8:20 p.m. Eastern. That's what, 5:20 p.m. Pacific for all y'all in the West Coast. Big up to everybody on the West Coast. I love y'all. West Side. And also, Peru, Costa Rica will be on our air as well. Big up to all the Incas. Big up all the Ticos. La Pura Vida. I love y'all too. And don't forget, Post to Post tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 Pacific, right here. Sports Burst at noon also. Jeremy should be back, and he'll do a much better job than me.
And Toulon tournament as well.
Toulon tournament. Just check beINsports.com
There's a
for
lot,
everything.
There's
all
a
right?
lot
There's
going on.
so much going on here.
Or Twitter.
On the network. For Twitter, that's for sure. All right, Eric Krakauer, once again, it was a pleasure. George
Always
Metellus, take care, everyone.
Adios, big soccer heads.